how's it going? I'm here to do your reading for the week of July 6th. We're going to start by taking a look at the astrology for the weekend, actually, for July 6th and July 7th, because Monday I'm going to put up a new segment that I thought of to look at the astrology for the day, along with some do's and don'ts from the tarot. So I'll be posting that on Monday. So this will be sort of the next 2 days, and then I'll do the cards for the week. So a couple of things I want to point out. First is the thing that pulled my attention first thing this morning is that Saturn, as you see here, is directly on the nodes. So it's sitting on the south node. It's opposing the north node. It's been there since June 30th. So you may feel like everything is at a standstill. And if we look at the placements of the planets, we have a 2, we have a 3, we have a 4, we have a 5, we have a 6, 14, 16, 17, 18, 22. So you may feel like things are kind of all over the place, like lots of things open, nothing necessarily talking to each other. Things aren't really lining up. And at the same time, there's just like this total block, like nothing is moving. You may have projects that were open that all of a sudden have come to a standstill. You may have had a relationship starting that may be stalled. This is Saturn on the nodes is extremely karmic. So this is also a releasing of old karmic past because it's on the south node. So whatever you're kind of dealing with right now or releasing or reacting to is releasing you from an old karmic cycle. Now, this Saturn on the nodes doesn't happen very frequently, so this is a very important time. Now, we see here for this weekend, the moon is in Virgo. So if you have things to like busy work that you haven't had the energy to do, this is a great time to do it. Moon in Virgo loves to clean the house, loves to organize its drawers, loves to do lists, things like that. So taking care of those sort of day-to-day detail-oriented, paying the bills kind of energy, the moon will really be supporting you over the next couple of days. Venus is in Cancer now, so she's a little less flirty and a little bit more emotional. She can feel very nurturing. She can feel very moody. She can love dearly. She can feel like spending time with kids, with mom. She can feel like cooking. She can feel like throwing dinner parties. And then we also have, and it's making a semi-sextile here to Mars and Mercury. So this is a nice energy. It's not as strong as some of the other ones. But you see, she's also going to come up to square Chiron here over the next couple of days. So this will be some sort of wounding over the masculine and the feminine, because she's also talking to Mars here. So you may have some old wound around friends, around your parents, around the home, any sort of where, and it will depend where these fall in your charts. But that Venus square Chiron is going to bring up some sort of tension between this Chiron here in Aries, however it's playing out for you. Mine is in my first house, so it has to do with identity and stuff like that. Where it is in your house will depend on what you're healing from. So she's going to give you an opportunity here. This woman situation that's going to come up here will give you an opportunity to heal something. The sun is also coming up to the nodes. Which is usually nice. However, with the opposition of Saturn there, that's going to make it a little bit of a challenging aspect. And we'll look at that over the week when it actually happens to see what's happening. And you'll see here that Mars is coming up to Mercury, and they're going to have one last meeting before Mercury goes retrograde. Now, these two have kind of been traveling together for a while, which means that your head and your actions are really aligned, which is why this Saturn on the nodes is even more frustrating, because it's like, I know what I want. Like, I'm clear I know what I want. And Saturn's like, I'm still not letting you move forward. Why? Because Mercury's going to have to go back here to revise whatever this last argument was. You remember when Mercury had its fight with Saturn and Pluto? He's going to retrograde just shy of that Pluto degree to 23. So whatever that sort of argument was, or David Goliath situation where you felt like the small man against the big bad whatever, that's what you're going to be figuring out over this month of July. And this block is because you can't go, it's not allowing you to go forward on this path because you have to figure out this Mercury story first. So let's take a look at the cards and I'll be right back. Hey guys, how you doing? So I'm here to do the cards for the week of July 6th for Aries. July 6th, 2019, week of for Aries. There's a lot of movement this week astrologically, as we saw, and as I mentioned, I'll do those daily energies to move towards and energies to move away from, so we can sort of walk through it. I think this Mercury retrograde is going to be a bit of a doozy. Things have been nutty since the beginning of July with communications, like full areas without telephone contact, trains breaking down, lots of different stuff going on. So I think it's going to be, here's the card, balance. I think it's going to be a Merc retrograde for the record books. Can I have a card, please, for the energy for Aries for the week of July 6, 2019? What energy can Aries expect for the week of July 6, 2019? Yin, but in reverse. So this could also be that, like, careful with that too much Venus in Cancer, Moon in Cancer. Just kind of make sure you keep your emotions balanced without getting too much into that sort of grumpy, things aren't going my way energy. Why is nothing moving? And look, that's a 2 also. So it's talking about really like not going too far to any one side. And this keeps coming up, you know, it's asking us to stay detached and to not get too involved emotionally in what's happening, to just be very observant. And actually, when I was shuffling, one of the cards that I saw was the Justice card. So that makes sense. I got the Justice and the 4 of Swords. So this is, you know, as has been coming up in the last couple of readings, to just stay really detached and not in your feel. Like, be careful of falling too hard into your feels this week. Can I get a card for Aries for the week of July 6, 2019? What energy can Aries expect for the week of 2019? And you may actually be feeling more balanced. You know, it might not be a warning. This may just be, oh nice, the Sun. So this is in the Norman, it's as good a card as it is in the tarot. So, you know, so you might be feeling actually a little bit more balanced. You may be feeling a little bit more balanced this week. It's an energy to, if you're not, it's an energy to seek by finding out, you know, what that which you love or that which illuminates you, what makes your sun rise. Still stay, when this one comes up, it's like, you know, when it's right side up, it's encouraging your female energy. When it's upside down, it's like, just careful of getting too much into that, too passive. And it's interesting that you have this sort of the Sun, which is very male, and then this one here. So that also balances each other out. So can I get 3 cards for Aries for the week of July 6th, 2019? Okay, so this may be that Saturn on the nodes where you just feel like you're waiting and waiting and waiting and nothing's happening. 2 more cards, please, for Aries for the week of July 6th, 2019. But there is movement. You know, it may not be to the level that you want, but, you know, this is what he's pouring water on these pentacles. It may not be as much as you hoped, but it's still something. It's still getting started. Can I have one more card, please, for Aries for the week of July 6th, 2019? Okay. And then the 7 of Cups. Okay, so interesting that there's 2 sevens here. We know that the 7 is a spiritual card. And it's interesting that they're all male figures, you know? So the energy actually, you know, is quite masculine this week. However, to remain in balance. So it's possible that with everything that's going on in Cancer right now, with the Sun and the Venus and the nodes, that you may be feeling a little bit too watery, and that this slow growing is confusing you because you thought you knew what you wanted, but now it's like, well, wait a second, it doesn't seem to be growing the way I hoped it would. So maybe I should be doing something else, or maybe I should be talking to this person, or maybe I should be doing that. So you're kind of like looking at all of your options on whatever it is that's stagnant. As I said before in the eclipse readings, it's best not to take any dramatic action right now. It's best to let other people, you know, these are both kind of, they're all observing, you see, like no one's actually moving here. He's staring at his fish, he's staring at his pentacles, he's staring at his cups. So it's like really kind of stay in this observation mode that's not emotional. Really, really make sure you're clear on what's actually happening. Like look at where the light is being shown on the facts. That said, you know, the sun right over these pentacles says to me that it is growing. It may not be growing as fast as you like, but you know, when flowers bloom, it's like you could be staring at the flowers for 2 weeks and nothing happens, and then one day you fall asleep and you wake up and poof, there it is. So, you know, and these 2 sevens here with this, there's like some sort of transition here that actually, that in this sort of emotional cup here, these pentacles turn into, don't let these pentacles turn into confusion, right? That you think you're losing your way, or you're not sure of if they're going to be what you thought they were going to be. I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's like in observing them and in having to wait for them to grow, you may be thinking, perhaps I should have planted something else. Or maybe I should have been doing something else. Maybe each one of these is a different option. And I kind of feel like, see how both of these guys are facing that way and that one's facing this way, that you could end up throwing yourself into your own confusion about what your next step is. And the light will be shown on the path to take. See, there's that mountain there. Not yet. We have to wait until Mercury retrograde is over. So this could very well be the confusion that's going to come up over this retrograde period. And the cards are suggesting, you know, to really stay in this rational, objective space, to not let your emotions get the best of you. And you know, this is also sort of an anxiety card. One is patiently waiting, and the other is like what do I do? But they're both very still. So there's a lot of stillness on this table. But in the stillness, don't freak out. Just understand that things are balancing. That's also the Saturn on the nodes. And that when the time is appropriate, the sun will rise and shine on that mountain that you've been building. So even the shape is the same here. It's like you've built a little mountain of pentacles, earth, mountain of earth here. The sun will rise to illuminate and to blossom. So don't sort of like, and this is like sinking, I see it as like kind of the bottom of the sea sort of thing. So yes, so careful of your excess female energy. Stay very objective, balanced about what's going on. Let everyone else, the same thing that keeps coming up, let everyone else kind of get grumpy and whatever. And stay in your space of, you had this thing that you know you wanted to do. It was a new idea, it was a new emotion, it was a new something. It's not the time to get confused about, maybe I should, instead of that fish, maybe I should have had something else there. It just needs time to continue to grow. Okay, so understand that there is a reason for the block that's currently happening. It will move, and as soon as the nodes get off this degree, like, and start moving to 16, 15, we're gonna see things are gonna start to shift, you know, so it's not too far off. We had to go through this very sort of difficult gauntlet between Pluto and Saturn there, but they've passed it, they've gone through it, and there's just sort of this waiting period right now, where we're, you know, waiting for things to bloom, but you can't rush natural process. You can't rush the sunrise, you know, so don't. And one of the other cards that came up actually while I was shuffling was the Eight of Swords. So if you find yourself getting into an Eight of Swords energy, which is this, also just get back into this space. Remember what it was that you were trying to build in the first place. Remember what was in your cup, and there's these again, because that's what's driving all of it. So just remember to stay in that, to go back to this place where you go back to the original, like, why I was doing what I was doing, and just be willing to sort of wait it out until it's time for the sun to rise on that moment. Okay, I will see you on Monday. Oh no, hold on, sorry. I wanted to do the weekly, and let's do for Saturday and Sunday, energies to move towards, energies to move away from. So Saturday, and actually I'm going to clear these so we don't get confused and put this back in the deck. Let's do Saturday, July 6th, 2019 for Aries. What energies should they move towards? Poised. Okay, so that's like, this is kind of like the Seven of Pentacles, like things are about to happen. So stay in this today, like getting ready, knowing that things are going to work out. And let's see what energy to move away from. Energy to move away from on July 6th. Exchanging gifts. Okay, so here it seems like don't give away too much energy. This kind of solitary, so maybe you need some time alone to focus on your own things. It's not really a moment to be handing out energy. You need to kind of get yourself ready, because it's about, oh look, and they're both like showtime, you know, so it's like stay in the getting ready for showtime as opposed to like popping out of the box. So I feel like this Saturday you might want to spend some time taking care of your own stuff and not necessarily dedicating energy to other people, if that's possible for you. Let's see another one. Sunday, July 7th. Can we get the energy for Aries to move towards Sunday, July 7th? Milk and honey, so that's nice. That's like take a break, spa day, eat something you like. It's a lot of self-nurturing through what you feed yourself and the environment you put yourself in. So maybe have like a nice Sunday out in the park if you can. Can I get energy to stay away from for Aries, July 7th? Energy to stay away from July 7th for Aries. TikTok. So yes, so on Sunday, put your clocks away.
don't be so obsessed about what's happening. And that might be hard because the moon in Virgo is going to encourage you to, to get moving. But find a way to like take care of your house, self-nurture, take a bath, go to the beach, go to the pool, whatever you can, get near water or food or cooking or something around the home. And just kind of take some time to put your watch away and not be so oppressed by the feeling of time on Sunday. So I'm going to do this for the rest of the week on Monday because I'll be back in Milan and my Wi-Fi is easier. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Feel free to leave me comments on it down there, what I can do to make it more useful. And I will see you next time.